Good morning. How's everybody doing? We're gonna cover some pretty crazy stuff today. I've dug and I've dug and I've dug, and there's no information. And honestly, I might write a book on this because it's pretty crazy that nobody discusses this. And I think it's very important for people to understand market structure, right? There are things in market structure, there are patterns in market structure that you have to pay attention to. And so many people in the space are just not paying attention to the signs. That rather they are taking hopium and singing it in people's faces and basing all their moves off indicators rather than chart patterns. Don't get me wrong, I do use indicators. And they're not utilizing the tools as a whole. They're not basically using everything that the trading views and everything that the news and everything that we are given as traders to make proper decisions in the market. I'm not necessarily trying to call every single trader out because every trader has their own style, their own way. But I can tell you, if you utilize all these tools properly and you use them all together, not individually, don't go off like, hey, this is my 1-2-3 strategy. If it's a 1-2-3 strategy, yes, it will work out, but you are playing a game of probability, right? You are playing a game of probability. So if you stick to the same structure every single time, your game of probability might be successful, but you can improve that game of probability by using other things in part with your current decision making. This means that if you have a 1-2-3 scenario, maybe adding in if this then that, if this then that, if the RSI is here, if the stochastics there, if the MACD is here, line up more items with that, and it will give you a better scenario of odds to make your trades much more successful. This is the problem in the space. The space is that people look at specific things. They get scared. They see the market dropping. They get hyped when they see the market dropping. They get scared. They see the market go up. They get hyped when they see the market go up. These are emotions. Emotions are not the game. Emotions are not part of the game. Follow the pattern. That'll tell you where the money is. Follow the money. That'll tell you where the pattern is. It's that simple, guys. All right. And I'll show you all those scenarios today. We're going to discuss this pretty deep dive. Let's get it in just a minute. All right, guys, let's get it. I'm going to tell you first and foremost, I don't need other traders to tell me how to make my decisions. I don't need other people to help me sway my opinions. I make my own decisions on my own. I pay attention to the market structure. I know where the market's going. I know what I'm looking for, and I go with that, guys. Can structure change? Always structure can change. But if you pay attention enough, you eliminate the emotion, you can make it. You can make it. All right. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Because I mean, there's a lot to discuss here. There's a lot of things going on. I'm going to show you many things today. We're going to run through a lot of different things, and we're going to discuss why the market's going to continue to be bearish. Regardless of whether people like it or not, whether they feel a certain way or not, whether they're happy, whether they're, feel it's almost at the bottom. Look, until the market shows me, hey, I'm good. You know what? I'm going to wait until the market tells me I'm good. I'm not going to depend on other people. I'm not going to depend on, this scenario or that scenario. The money tells me everything. All right. And I'll show you guys the money on a macro and micro scale today. All right. So getting into it, you can see my chart here, plain as day. What is that? What do we call this? A descending wedge. What is a descending wedge? It's bullish. This is a macro. Doesn't mean it's going to play out tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's going to play out today. Doesn't mean it's going to play out 5-6 months from now. But we're going to follow the wedge. Can the wedge adjust? Sure. We'll discuss that in just a second. But let's remove everything. Remove everything. Everything's gone. Look, nothing, guys. All right. Look. All I got to do is follow the money. Okay? Follow the money. Look. Boom. All right. We have a support structure. Is it perfect? No, nothing is. All right. Not you, not I, not the charts. Boom. Let's look at the structure. Boom. We have higher structure. Now, if you take line A and you take line B and you drag them out, what do you get? A descending wedge. Not difficult. I typically like to do this, and nobody talks about doing this because it's nobody else's strategy. I think I'm the only one who does this. I draw a middle line, guys. I draw a middle line. Why do I draw a middle line? It tells me where the money is. There's always a top There's always a bottom and there's always a middle. Now look at the market. Look at the market. So let me ask you guys a question. Drop down, priced up, marked up, price gets up, follow support. We're now below that support, right? So now that we're below that support, and again, I should technically readjust this a little more to be in the middle here, right? So maybe like right about there. Once we get below that support, what do? We come back up and retest that support. Now, what's the expectation if I'm just looking at this from a descending wedge scenario? Well, if I'm just looking at it from a descending wedge scenario, we're coming all the way back down to retest the lows. Where do the lows look likely to be? Well, they look likely to be dropping somewhere in here or maybe over here. Now, where would that line up with our horizontal support? Because support and resistance is everything. It's everything. I'm using the chart pattern. I'm using support and resistance to find my next zone. So chart pattern is down. I'm expecting a full drop all the way to the bottom. I'm expecting this thing to come all the way down to the bottom to be able to tell me where price is going, find support as it has been in this descending wedge, and then take off from there. Where am I looking for that support? Well, if I come over to the left on the weekly, again, okay, it could be on the daily, it could be on the monthly, but you'll find this zone in one place or another. I have a really good support right here. This is where the market took off. Look, boom, boom. See those two white candles? Bring that support across. What does that show me? What am I seeing right here? Well, look at price. Look at price. Boom. If price dropped down tomorrow, would that not almost land perfectly right in this zone? Right in this OB? Here, I'll line it out a little better for you guys to make it even easier to see this area, okay? So the area that I'm looking at is right in here. The area that we tapped liquidity, bounced off of, took off, hit the center again, came back, and now we're retesting into is the liquidity from right here. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not. And I am expecting this to turn into an ABC formation, or maybe even a double bottom. Maybe they don't even come down and recapture all the liquidity. Maybe they just double bottom right up here, right across here. And if they double bottom here, then I'll look for a W into a rejection into a deeper move down to 14, 13, 10K. All right, but let's go off of this. So we drop down. If we drop down and we do move into that ABC formation, it would look something like this, guys. Look, we got our 0 into our A, into our B, into our C. Now keep in mind, I'm not talking about wicks. I'm not talking about wicks. I'm talking about bodies. Bodies will close lower than the previous bodies over here on the weekly. And if that becomes the case, then that's an ABC formation. Now, typically a move that moves from a higher move into a deeper move then gets a heavy bounce, right? So then that ABC formation turns into kind of a lopsided W. So it would look something like this, into this, into this, into this, right? That's a big upside, a big upside. But with this, I would expect rejection again and for us to come deeper. Now, at some point we come out of this, right? Because we're looking at a descending wedge. So at some point we come out of this. It just went. Do we come up and hit again and come back down deeper? Right? But we're not just gonna drop out. Liquidity is showing support in this direction. But what is liquidity doing? Liquidity is tightening, guys. Okay? On a macro scale, liquidity is tightening. Am I expecting another down move? Yes, even if we move back up. But liquidity is tightening. When liquidity tightens in a specific direction, it is looking for a move or reversal in the opposite direction, right? Especially in a descending wedge. Just like if we were in an ascending wedge, I would look for a move to the opposite direction, the down move, okay? So these are the things that nobody was going to teach you for free. These are the things that nobody's going to tell you. They're just going to tell you, hey, just go with it. You know, we're up here, we're down here, you know, looks good right here. We got support there, this and that. Look, the money tells you everything. Okay. I don't know the news. I don't know nothing else. I've been gone for a while. I just came in, threw up a chart, looked at it, and figured out what was going on. That's it. All right. I've had tons and tons and tons of things that I've been doing in life. Because why? Because I don't have to stare at charts all day. I don't have to do this stuff. Because why? Because I know what I'm looking for. I trust what I'm looking for, and I do it. You have to do it, okay? If you want to make money. So we're gonna come over. We're gonna look at a couple other ones. We're gonna look at ADA over here. ADA's look. Sorry, excuse me. ADA's consolidating. So ADA's looking good. Again, we're still in a build long structure for ADA. That's very bearish. I'm still looking for, even in this consolidation, for us to make one more lower move. And you know, expectations are at minimum for ADA around 27, maybe 25 cents. And then we see maybe a move down to this 15 cents. That would be great. Alts will continue to get wrecked as the market continues to get wrecked. Sol. So we got a nice little pump here on Sol, and then we got a nice little dump here on Sol. Sol is trapped. You can see the consolidation area over here, right? They're consolidating where? Are they consolidating at the low, or are they consolidating at the high? They're consolidating at the high. This is not an ideal range. I'm looking for a much lower move on Sol. They're basically playing liquidity at the highs. They're playing liquidity at the premium zone. We have lots of room to come down for Sol. If you look on the weekly, we're still under the 50, very bearish. You look over at stochastic, we're way overbought. Sol is got some heavy downside to see. Or Matic, sorry. I keep saying Sol, sorry guys. Matic should see some heavy downside from here. We should come back down to that 42 cent zone with potential to come all the way down to this 20 cent zone. And if they really want to rip liquidity from Matic, I would be careful, guys. Like, I feel like a lot of this is just liquidity grabs. And they're floating these markets to make people feel comfortable with coming in and committing money at the highs, and then they're going to rip people out. I mean, Sol could come all the way down to 3 cents. There's no real liquidity up here holding and supporting this. It's just, you know, fictitious holding at this point for a lot of markets. All right, Sol. We talked about it. Boom. Look, drop down, right? Am I looking for a bounce? Yes, I'm looking for a bounce. Will we get a bounce? Maybe, maybe not. You can see right here, either the bounce runs through, the bounce comes up, rejects at the highs, and then comes back down. And finally grabs this liquidity. It's been sitting here forever. Sorry about that. It's been frustrating with Sol. I know they're going to come down. They just keep on playing people to the upside. Disney over here. Disney coming back into our consolidation zone. Disney's going to come all the way back to $91. Just like we talked about. So we'll see how that plays out. That's the weekly right there. We closed below support. Amazon, again, testing, right? I've showed you guys this many times on my Twitter. Testing. Looks really good. We're consolidating right here. I'm expecting possible move back up until a move back down. They might try and grab liquidity up here, which means they might wick through and then pull back through under. All right, S&P 500. Look, guys, I can't make it any easier for you. Look, I showed you all the supports, white line supports, orange line supports. Price came rejected. Now, again, just like I showed you guys in the beginning of the video, broadening wedge, right? Broadening wedge all day. Broadening wedges are bullish, just like descending wedges are bullish, but they take time to play out, right? So I'm expecting this thing to come all the way down to this 3,300, shake people out. This could last for years, guys. Like, look, we could be months. 2023 can end up dropping all the way back down, you know, March, April, May, June, July. And then we finally see that move out in December of next year, October, November. And that could bring us all the way down to this 2851, possibly down to 2191, which I'm not even going to talk about this because we're not even close to that. But, you know, we could see some pretty deep moves on the S&P, which means that everything is going to get wrecked. Crypto, everything, guys. Lucid recovering the wick over here. You can see the wick. You see where big money stepped in, pushed price back up, and now they're coming back down to we got that liquidity, right? They added the liquidity. Now they're taking the liquidity. Support sitting here around 1294. In my opinion, that's where I think that they'll go with this. We'll see at the end of the day. Adobe. Look at this. You can't get a better rejection than that. Can't get a better rejection than that. Move down, move up, move back down. Possible move back up to retest support, but ultimately I'm looking for the deeper move on Adobe. Adobe's already shown its weaknesses. 295. We're looking over at the 2 years. 2 years already breaking out again. I got 384 as my first move right here. We're gonna move up to that, and then, you know, eventually I'm looking at a 5.28%. pond, guys. That's insane. That means everything's destroyed. FTX build long structure, Tulip. So Tulip's about to get destroyed. If you are in Tulip, I would drop my bags on that one. Not financial advice, not telling you what to do, just telling you what I would do. All right, build long structure again on Twitter. I'm expecting a move, and then, you know, a breakdown. Twitter's gonna get, I think, bankrupt probably. Oil, it's in a descending channel. That's bullish. We'll see how that breaks out. I'm looking for the highs here. I'm looking for them to try and recapture that 145. That'll probably be a market end at that point. We'll see if that happens. Come over here, BNB. We talked about this. Back under resistance, right? Back under resistance. Now we're looking to drop. BNB is going to come all the way back down to 204 with potential, you know, again, we're in a descending wedge in BNB too, just like in Bitcoin, with potential to come a lot deeper. So if we look at BNB, you know, we can go as low as 170, probably lower. And really BNB's, I think it's just going to plop at some point. They keep catching liquidity in here. So to me, it's not even a descending wedge. I would just eliminate this altogether and say as soon as it breaks here, it's coming all the way down here to $49. So be ready for that. There's a lot of liquidity there, as you can see. We'll see how that plays out, but this is basically a play to break down. They're pressuring the bottom. They got heavy selling pressure to the top. That's what this means. This descending is heavy selling pressure. You got continually support right here. People keep trading the range, right? And keep in mind, we talked about getting tighter, right? When you trade the range in a tight range, that tight range is going to eventually react. Now, in a scenario where you're getting played to the downside, that reaction tends to break down because you get in a tight range. Traders have no space to trade anymore. Guess what? We got to discount it because people are not willing to buy here. Then people are not willing to buy here. Then people are not willing to buy here. So where does the market maker have to take the liquidity? Let's take it to the lows, right? They're going to take the liquidity to the lows. All right, I'm giving you guys a lot of alpha. I'm giving you a lot of alpha. Pay attention, okay? XRP, similar scenario. Look, we got selling pressure. Now, you could say XRP has room. It does. XRP does have room. Do I think that that's going to play out? No, I think that this thing is just curved, right? And you're probably like, what do you mean curved? I think that, you know, we're getting a new top here. XRP is going to revisit these lows, guys. It's going to hit 18 cents again. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that or may not want to hear that. That's, hey, prime buying opportunities. That's all I'm going to tell you, okay? Build long structure still for XRP. I'm watching key zones. Right there's your build long structure. Something's going to give here. Something's going to give. Either to the upside or downside, but I'm more in the downside scenario. All right, let's come over here to AMD, which I'm sure chips are getting destroyed. Yep, nice head and shoulders over here on chips. Now this one's a decline head and shoulders, so we get the nice move up, nice move back down. We retest the lows, and now I'm expecting, you know, some kind of consolidation into a real breakdown to $37 for AMD. Let's come into Tesla. Again, we're looking at the same thing with Tesla as we're looking at with the S&P. I know there's a lot of crap on my screen. I'm sorry about that. I really apologize. I'm just testing out different theories. This was my previous setup before they did the the stock split. So obviously they moved the stock prices down, so I had to readjust and recreate. This was my original setup, so I left it up here just so you guys know I'm not like, you know, just following things or making things up. So if you look here, we got, again, another broadening wedge, right? They're going to come back up, probably try and retest the high. This is going to be an M formation to the downside. So it's going to be a move, into a move, into a move, into a move, into a move. That's what I think is going to happen here with Tesla. Now, does that have to play out? No, this thing could just start dropping and come back down, hit the middle. We talked about the middle line, right, on the broadening. And then, you know, we come back down deep. But Tesla has a long ways to go to the downside, guys. I do not think Tesla will sit here and float like people think it will. And this is just looking at the money. There's no opinion on Tesla specifically. I think it's a good company. I think it does a lot of things. All right. Curve getting wrecked. Already broke its build long structure all the way through. Build long structure's gone. Came back up, retested, consolidating, and I think it'll come back down deeper. All right, gold. We talked about this. I talked about this with a few group members. I do have a Discord, by the way. I'll have that description in the link. Free, no cost, nothing like that. You can follow me, free alpha. I'll throw it in there regularly for all you guys, free of charge. feel free to jump in. Please, no crazy stuff, guys. No getting upset. If you get upset and stuff like that, look, you got to deal with your own problems, okay? At the end of the day, I'll help you as much as you want for free. Just try not to be like, disrespectful and stuff like that to me or other people. I'm giving you this free. Like I don't get paid for this by YouTube or anything. All right, so right here we got the decline channel. So gold's looking bullish to me. Gold's looking bullish. This on the daily chart, weekly. We talked about this before in the group. I told you guys that we should see the lows get recaptured. We're gonna see gold come back down. It's gonna play to the 1630-ish, and then we might see a breakout from here from the 1630, so it might be a good opportunity, or we see lower moves, the 1567. But it's a very obvious descending channel, which are typically bullish. If you look over here at the VIX is still in a bullish formation, guys. Like don't get played. Don't get played on this, okay? You got the downside, you got the upside. We are ramping up for some huge. There's going to be a huge move here, guys. The liquidity is moving fast. We are getting heavy. Look, we may see a breakout in the VIX that we have never seen ever, which means the volatility will get so extreme, and it could ramp and ramp, and it doesn't have to stop immediately, right? I would buy into the ramping if it broke out, and I'm expecting to break out. I'm expecting the highest move in the VIX volatility we have ever seen. That's my expectations for the VIX. We come over here. We got engine, BBB. Let's see how BBBY is doing. Oh, look at that. BBBY. Right back to where it started. Now, am I expecting them to play this back up? Yeah. Look, I got the W formation right here. Expecting the double bottom, right? They're going to come back down, recapture, and they're going to try and move again. They're going to try and play. Watch and see if they don't try and play the BBBY one more time. Tesla. So it might be a good opportunity. Good buying opportunity, guys. We already talked about that. Let's go over here. So we talked about this, right? So an ascending, right? Ascending broadening wedge is bearish. Comes in from the top, bing, 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 breaks down, right? Comes in from the top, descending, bing, 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 breaks out. So bullish for descending, bearish for ascending. A lot of these are in a descending, so they are bullish. Macro does not have to play out immediately. Again, you can expect some pretty hefty lows, high volatility in macro. And if we see this move on the S&P, like I'm talking about here, you're going to see that volatility definitely break out to higher highs than we've ever seen before. So I just wanted to throw it out there. Oh, one more tick, just so you guys know. I'm pretty much the only person who called for this, because everybody said there's no way. 120 on the DXY. 120. Look, it's very obvious over here, guys. Look, where it started, where it ramped to, and we're retesting again. 120 on the DXY. Heard it here first, guaranteed. I've been talking about this for almost a year. When we were down here, I was talking about we were going to come up here because it was just obvious. Why is it obvious? Too much money in the system. Too much money being invested. Too much hype. You can tell when the market's getting ready to cool down. It's a very apparent scenario that's easy to play on other people's emotions. So keep your eyes on the charts again. We ran through a lot here today. I tried to teach you a lot about broadening wedges, descending wedges, all these scenarios that can help you ascending, right? That can help you kind of create a better space for yourself. I showed you a little bit with the RSI, the stochastic. I showed you how to utilize those slightly. So we'll get deeper into that definitely in the future. Follow my Discord though, guys, if you guys are interested in following me live and stuff like that. I'm pretty active in there. I will try and help anybody out with questions or understanding. I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're pro. I don't care if you're medium. Look, I'll help you out however I can, and I will assist you with whatever you need as far as understanding things. If you need help with knowing how to set up a wallet for crypto, I can help you with that. Just simplistic things all the way to detailed things. I am working on building a course that I'll be providing to people for free, and we'll be utilizing that moving forward. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you later.
All in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by my